Well, Leaflit, you should care. You should care, because deportations aren't just some, like, you know, fun little punishment for minor infractions. Deportation is an incredibly, inherently violent process. It is. Anybody that, like, tries to say that it isn't, it's just, they're either lying, they don't know what the process actually looks like. It is violent. It is incredibly violent. And it is not at all an apt punishment for non-violent criminals who simply committed the abhorrent crime of not renewing their papers. Okay? It's messed up, basically. Alright, well, let's watch this now. I thought there was a new Jimmy Talks video, but not the most recent one, but I thought he came out with one before that that looked interesting, but I don't really want to watch his newest one. Fuck, what was it again? Oh yeah, it's about Poly Market. Yeah, I don't want to watch his video about Poly Market, but I made a video about Jackson and Leaflit, and it kind of blew up. But anyway, I want to see what what exactly happened after we stopped looking at it, because apparently there's more.
About me, I didn't even notice it. Do I watch it? I didn't watch this one. Did I watch it? I think I did. Maybe I did watch it. I did watch it.
Words.
There's so many of them. Or let's see what the beginning is about. We'll see what the beginning is about.
Another beautiful.
Is it a gay flag?
My privilege in being a lit cuck. Well, I got and shake and then head to my job at the gender reassignment factory. Better check the comments on my video first.
Do you think he read that book? Do you think he read the Communist Manifesto? Just out of curiosity, like, you think he actually read it?
It's not a book. It's a pamphlet, and anybody that doesn't read it, I don't really know why. Like, even if you disagree with it, it's very short. It's very simple. It's easy to understand, right? Even if you're, even if you didn't fucking graduate high school, you can read it, okay? Like, it doesn't take, like, a genius to understand it or anything. And that's by design, okay? For those of you that don't know, the reason it was written is for it to be as digestible as possible, so that it could reach the most people, okay?
And then head to my job at the gender reassignment factory.
So it's not like Marx's other work, where it's more like wordy, it's more dense, like Das Kapital. It's a lot easier to read. Right, anyway.
Dumb, honestly, the book. I mean, I already explained why. It basically immediately makes an assertion that the people that are working in management and production are useless. It starts that for no reason.
Better check the comments on my video first.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't assert that management is useless. Wait, what did you
say? An assertion that the people that are working in production are useless.
In production? What? No, man. It actually says the exact opposite of that, actually. And anyway, only a dumbass would say that it asserts that that people in bureaucratic, management roles are useless. That's idiotic. No, we need managers. The only, role in liberal society that the Communist Manifesto asserts are useless are the capitalists, okay, who exploit their workers and give nothing in return. Fuck off.
Starts that for no reason.
Better check the comments on my video first and see what the chuds are saying today. Wait.
Okay.
It's so crazy to me that a person who very obviously has no idea about anything about the ideology in direct opposition to her own it somehow has a successful political commentary channel. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Like, you don't even understand the other side to like the slightest degree. You just, like, constantly strawman them. You say, like, they just want to kill all managers. All managerial roles must be eliminated. Like, no, man. No, how would you even get that idea if you actually read it? Which you didn't.
No, like honestly, like honest opinion here.
You're projecting.
Is Jackson's editing is actually pretty good. Apparently, wait, is it true that Jackson made a video about me a long time ago and then deleted it? Is that true? Someone told me that, but I don't know if it's true because I haven't seen it myself. But I heard that was a thing.
Fuck, I forgot that they're two different people. So I made a pretty big mistake in that video, and I do feel pretty stupid about it. I was looking for a PNG of Leaflit's model, and when you Google Leaflit PNG, this is literally the first image result, and I'm not aware of all of her current models, and I saw blue hair, and I was like, yeah, sure, that works. The file is literally named Asari, and I just didn't notice, and so now I have to fix it. And do you know how hard it is for some reason to find a transparent PNG of Leaflit? Then I have to sit here and manually cut it out by hand, and it takes fucking forever.
True.
It doesn't look very good, so...
Yeah, you know what you can do, though? You can just tell AI to do it, and then it'll do it. But, I know that's a little bit,
Here, this is the thumbnail now, okay? I fixed it. Look, it was like 4 in the morning, and I was in a hurry to finish up the video and get it to the
You don't need to use AI to do it either. You can just... well, I don't really want to give away my secrets, but let me just say I am a user of a classic program that can very easily do something like this if you know how to work it, okay? But and it's not Photoshop, okay, before anybody says anything. I don't really like Photoshop. It's too bulky, it's too I'm a fan of lightweight software. Okay, I like software without all the bloat. Okay, I like free software, or if it's not free, I like at least software that is piratable. Okay, if necessary. Unfortunately, Photoshop is not one of those programs.
So I could go to bed. I am very aware that making a mistake this stupid on a video where I call a bunch of people stupid over and over again is pretty embarrassing. And I'm embarrassed. And I do feel dumb for making a mistake that simple. I did know that Leaflit's mother had her own model, and I just didn't think about it when I was putting the thumbnail together. And
the funny thing is, guys, the funny thing is when my mom found out about this, and I told her, like, wow, look, you're in the thumbnail. You're in the thumbnail for, let's say that.
Okay, Jackson, like, why are you addressing this? Why? This shit doesn't matter. Do you know how much stupid bullshit people bring to my attention that I don't care about? Right, a lot, okay? And do you want to know how often I address it? Never, okay? Like, the only gripes that I address with my commenters, with people on my Discord, are valid ones, okay? And making a simple mistake where you think that these two VTuber avatar models are the same when they are very obviously very similar. Like, that's not... It's not worth addressing, okay? You're just like, by paying attention... It's the classic thing of, like, by paying attention to it, you are validifying the criticism. It's not valid criticism, it's fucking stupid. Because, like... mistaking these two models for each other is an understandable mistake to make because they look identical. They look almost exactly the fucking
was
same.
Called the right-wing VTuber grifter situations.
The real differences between these two VTuber models, I think, is the height difference. Like, one of them is her mom. Okay, so like Leaflit is like the little baby, and her mom is like tall. Okay. And then the mom has like longer hair, but not always. Like, sometimes Leaflet has longer hair. In the case of like the pigtail model, like she has on right now.
Just imagine like my mom was at the picture. I sent it to my mom, and I was like, "Wow, look at this picture." You know what my mom said? I should make political content. She was like, "I should make big political content." I was like, "Oh my god."
She doesn't even make any content on your channel, which makes it even more confusing to decipher which model is which. Okay, because there's no more Asari content on your channel, not that I can find. Okay, and that's fine. Like, if you wanna pivot the channel to just being about you and not your mom, after all, you do make political commentary content. But yeah, I mean, let's see if I'm wrong. Because the last time I checked, I'm pretty sure I could not find any kind of Asari content on here. I don't remember watching all of this video, but she, in fact, did not get banned, I don't think. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, where is your mom's content? I don't see it here, bro. Like, this is just... Like, you should change the name of your channel to just Leaflit. Okay, because there is no Asari. Where is Asari? I don't see her. Is she in the room with us? Anybody seeing it? Any Asari content here? I'm seeing all Leaflit. I'm not seeing any Asari content. Okay, her mom, when I first started watching, there were some videos of her mom that her mom made, and I think they were like cooking related or something. Her mom was making like cooking channel content, but and there was a playlist for it too. But I'm pretty sure she like privated all of her mom's videos. Which again, like, I'm not saying this to, like, this isn't, like, criticism or anything, but because it's understandable to, you know, kind of get your mom out of the picture, okay? But the thing is like, you're criticizing this person for simply using the wrong avatar when it's impossible to distinguish which avatar is which, because your mom doesn't make any content on this channel anymore. Like, there is no more. Like, or not only is she not actively making any, but there is no, like, you privated all of it, or you removed it. Okay, like, it's gone. It's not here. Am I crazy? Yeah, no, I mean, hey, yeah, it's not here. So, like, I don't understand this criticism. I don't get it. It's stupid bullshit. To just like, it's a gotcha. It's dumb. It's dumb. Okay,
it's because I know she has multiple and blue hair and face blindness, I guess. And to be clear, I had no intention of purposely bringing anyone's mother into this. That wasn't something I was trying to do. This was just 100% me making a stupid mistake and not double checking my work. But everything else.
Okay. It again, like, Jackson. I hate it when liberals do this with important issues. But I also hate it when they do this with, like, trivial issues like this, where they like, concede, like, oh, well, I made a mistake. Like, you didn't make it. Stop saying that you made a mistake when you fucking didn't, okay? Call this what it is. It's silly, right? They're using this to obfuscate from the rest of your criticism of her, because you accidentally use the wrong model or whatever, even though it's not your fucking fault.
Everything else I said in the video was pretty true and based.
Wait, what? Hold on.
But everything else I said in the video was pretty true and based.
Oh my god, he committed the cardinal sin. The cardinal sin of, like, you can't immediately call yourself based, because the instant you do that, you become not based. So it's kind of funny.
Here's one thing I want to respond to completely seriously, with no joking or anything like that. I have not, and would never, call for any of you to be attacked or physically harmed in any way.
You die if you don't say you're not a Nazi! And you die if you don't say you're not a Nazi!
And I also never called you Nazis or fascists, or even implied that you were.
You're not talking to people that want to entertain the notion of being a Nazi anymore. They're fucking Nazis! It's the bedrock of humanity! Gotcha, bitch!
This is a recording of someone else? How do you think, okay, you're saying it's a recording of someone else. How would you feel if I made a video saying I made anti-woke propaganda and it was like impassioned Hitler speeches, and it's like the entire video. It was me glazing impassioned Hitler speeches. Do you think that they would think, do you think anyone would not know exactly what I was doing? That's ridiculous. Like, the idea that, like, the idea that just because it's not you speaking, you're the one who did the edit, you know, as like anti-fascist propaganda, doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what this means. Honestly, I feel like I should hear Jackson, because Jackson was like kind of messaging me about stuff. Like, I feel like I don't know, maybe I should watch this first and then respond.
I think you know all of that. I think you might be intentionally framing it as though I'm calling.
I mean, the thing, okay, like, and then I just feel like this is so disingenuous, but, like, you know, I'd be willing to ask straight up, like, okay, so everything that you said everything in this video, do you not?
Okay, so I think I'm following. Jackson is backtracking, right? That's what I think is going on. Okay, and, like, I don't know why. Like, because you were right. Okay, you're right. Leaflit is a fascist. Of course she is. Look at what she said. look at her words. Like, yeah, she's a fucking fascist. I'm not afraid to say it. Okay, I don't know why this person is. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. These people are fascists, right? They are saying these things. Okay, I don't know what else to say. When you call an entire ethnic population that is currently being, genocided, when you call them subhuman, when you call them orcs, when you compare them to orcs from, like, Lord of the Rings, that's straight up just, like, you are a fascist. You are. You can't just say shit like that and then be like, oh yeah, I'm not a fascist. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just called an entire ethnic population that is currently being ethnically cleansed from their native land, which they have been being cleansed from for 80 years. You're calling them subhuman. That's just evil. I mean, that's just straight up evil shit.
I agree with it. Right, this is why I wish I was like face to face with these people, or like actually in a call with them, so I could immediately hit them for clarification. Be like, why did you make this video? Oh, because I thought it was cool. And then I could then go into the Hitler thing, right? And see if they agree with that or not. I just feel like it just doesn't seem honest to be like, well, I never called you as a Nazi. Okay, technically you didn't.
United States of Israel.
Technically, like,
true.
utter the words, these specific people are Nazis, right? But it's heavily implied, right? So it's kind of
Homeland
it just feels
Security
a little.
For that to rile up a response against me, which I think is.
And yeah, and then again, if we go over here, dude, I have no idea. Am I getting farmed? Am I getting farmed right now? Am I getting farmed? But yeah, there's a hat there that says this machine kills fascists, right? It's like the choice of hat. Like,
yeah, of course we're farming you. Yeah. I mean, Jackson isn't doing a particularly good job, hence why you're responding to it. But yeah, we are farming you. We are laughing at you. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I just made a video about you with this last like Jackson drama, and it netted me like 1.5 thousand views or something. Okay, and hey, for Leaflit content, that's really good. That's really good. Like, most of my Leaflit videos, like, way underperform my Asmongold videos. But that one, I mean, that one rivaled even my most popular Asmongold
in the video. It's just kind of interesting, talking about all of this stuff over here.
And that's because they have a lot of the same audience, right? So, like, I'm attracting a lot of hate watchers from the Asmongold community, a lot of Europeans as well. Okay, and I've noticed that there's a lot of Europores in my comments. And look, I may joke, I may throw around the term Europore. Okay, my bad. I grew up on Pole. Okay, but in all seriousness, I really like Europeans. I think Europeans are cool people. I like their culture. Okay, but still, I recognize what it is. There is a growing fascist movement in Europe, and a lot of those people they like watching Asmongold. They like watching Asmongold, and they like watching Leaflit because she glazes Asmongold. But the reason that they like Asmongold is because they are smarmy European elitist. Okay, they are unironically the archetype of like everything Americans hate about Europeans, which is the elitist attitude that they have towards Americans. Okay, that's why they watch Asmongold, because Asmongold is gross and stinky, and like you can smell them through the screen. Okay, and they love that. They love that shit because that's the way those people see Americans. Okay, Asmongold fits the type for them.
Because there's a distinction.
Anyway.
Pretty disgusting and irresponsible, but I just wanted to make that
And
clear.
I haven't really figured out where Leaflit fits into this role, because I mean, maybe it's just that she's stupid, right, and that's why they watch her. But I think she has or maybe it really is just because she glazes Asmongold all the time. Okay, I don't know. She says the right things. She glazes Asmongold. I guess that's why they like her. But I think she's similar. She has a very similar audience.
Never called you Nazis or fascists, or even implied that you were.
So then I would ask, okay, so do you think that...
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Jackson. You did imply that they were. I guess you didn't ever straight up say that they were. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember everything you said about these people, but you definitely did imply it, and you were right. You were right too, because they are.
Asmongold is a Nazi or fascist, right? Because then if I ask that, so you're saying, so then I could say by association, if you think that, because again, here's the evidence right here of the video here, and then it has Asmongold.
They're fucking Nazis. It's the bedrock.
So they're fucking Nazis. Shows a picture of Asmongold, right? So here's the thing: if you're saying Asmongold is a Nazi because of his beliefs, then aren't you by proxy also saying that we are Nazis if we agree with Asmongold? You see what I mean? Like it's like not directly, even though it's not directly.
Well, that's if you follow guilt by association. But see, I don't really do that. I don't think that a lot of leftists do that automatically. Not anymore. Not as much anymore. Okay, it's still a problem that leftists have. Right-wing people do it as well. Okay, but like, me personally, I'm not quick to guilt by association. I think that people have their own opinions, okay, and they be friends with people that have very different opinions. So, it's not that you like Asmongold, you glaze Asmongold. That's not why you're a fascist. Okay, you are a fascist because at every turn, like Asmongold, you defend state violence against innocent people that did nothing wrong, and you called Palestinians orc people that are deserving of being missiled and having their babies blown up because they're just little green people, I guess. That was your
It's
reasoning.
very obviously that that's what's implied by it, right? Like, for instance, right, when I say that these woke people and I say they're racist, I'm not saying that as like, oh, well, I didn't really mean that they're racist. No, they're racist. I fucking actually think so. I actually think so. I double, quadruple down on it. And if you want to disagree with me, then let's talk about it and let's debate it and let's fight it out, right? But I don't. When I say
Let's
something, I
do
mean
that,
it, right? So it's like
Leaflit.
I
I
just
would
don't
love
understand
to.
this. And then being like, oh, well, I didn't really call you a Nazi. He said you should never be allowed in society. Where is that? I'm guessing that's in this video somewhere. You know what? I have AI for this. 2013. They should never be able to live normal lives in civilized society ever again.
We just need to get over that. These people are scum. They should be treated like scum. Don't ever be nice to them. If you have friends who are voting conservative, stop being their friends.
Okay, well, there you have it. And then
Never be able to live normal lives in a civilized society ever again.
I think that's silly. I think that's dumb. Okay, and that's not how you build solidarity. Okay, Jackson, I'm sorry if I'm like leftist finger wagging you. I'm doing liberal infighting. But no, you can be friends with conservatives. You kind of have to be careful about which ones you choose to be friends with, okay? Because there are some people that are just beyond the point of saving. Okay, but look at what's happened. Look at what's happened over the last year, the last 2 years. Right, since Trump took office again. People are fed up. Okay, yeah, he won the election. Okay, yeah, people voted for him. You know, a lot of people didn't turn out to vote for Kamala. Okay, that's another conversation. But like, I don't know if you noticed, people are jumping ship. People are really, like, Trump is radioactive. Okay, he's stinky. And like you're seeing MAGA people jump ship. Okay, now, are there always going to be loyalists? Yeah, of course, and that's why I say some people, you can lead a horse to water. You could lead a horse to water. Okay, but you know how it is. Okay, so me personally, in my personal experience, I know people that voted for Trump in 2024. I considered them friends, right? I still consider them friends. Well, I talk to a lot of people. I talk to people of many different political dispositions. Okay? And I wasn't friends with them by way of me lying to them and being like, I told them what I thought. I said, like, Trump is not going to do any of the things that he's saying he's going to do. He is going to fuck you over. He's not going to lower grocery prices. Like, everybody's saying this. The tariffs are going to destroy our economy. These are the things I was telling them. Okay, and then they elected him, and they said, "Oh, Jacob, it's not going to be that bad, bro. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine, bro." Okay, and then all of this shit started happening. Okay, and now they're like, wow, J-Star was a big brain genius. He just he saw everything coming. Look, to anybody that has been paying attention to politics, to history, right? All of this shit was very obvious. Okay, straight up. Right down to the tariff policies. Okay, it was painfully obvious to us. Okay, but it wasn't obvious to them because of decades of American exceptionalism propaganda, right? Anti-communist propaganda. This is what happens. Okay, but now people are starting to open their eyes, see the truth about the government, about this administration, about what they're doing. And they're just, it's not only that, like, they're not seeing any of the benefits that they were promised. They were promised the Epstein files. They were promised the lower grocery prices. And to the racist people out there, which I wasn't really friends with those kind of conservatives, believe it or not. Like I say, believe it or not, there were, like, genuinely non-racist people voting for Trump. I should say non-extreme racist people. But anyway, even the extreme racists aren't getting what they wanted, right? They're not getting the deportations. They're not getting them. You know, so like, what the fuck? Okay, like, Trump is just really not pleasing anyone at all, and he doesn't have to. He doesn't give a fuck.
We're not gonna.
And the thing is like, if they want to say
Anyway.
that, if they want to say that, that's fine, right? Like that's fine. You know, go ahead and say it, but you know, just be honest about it, right? It's like I said, like when I say that these people, when I say that certain people suck, like specific people that they suck, and I say that, oh, you know, these people are actually racist. These people are when I say those things, I actually mean it, right? Like I mean it, and like I double triple down. Like if they actually want to press me on it, and then you know, like sometimes I'll say like, okay, like, maybe I was wrong about that, sure, right? But I try to only say something when I actually am prepared to defend it. Does that make sense? It's just kind of weird to me, like kind of pulling this whole I didn't do nothing when I mean that's kind of what the whole video was about. I just don't get it, right? I mean, just,
Yeah.
it's just,
I
if
mean,
you want to say that we're Nazis, like we deserve to die, and all
You
that
know, I hate to say it, but Leaflit is correct about this, okay? And I was saying this in the last Jackson video, where Jackson said that Rev is like a grifter or something, and I was like, you know, I don't know if I would call him that. You know, Rev is a lot of despicable things, but I'm not really, you know, I'm not sure if I can say with confidence that he's a grifter. But like, if you're going to label someone something, anything, you should be prepared to back it up. Okay, you need to. Okay, when I call Leaflit a fascist or something similar, I am prepared to back it up. I am prepared to argue about it. That's it.
stuff. Just be honest about it. You know what I mean? Just be honest. Just it.
I think you know all of that.
I don't
think
know.
You might
And,
be intentionally
and
framing-
anybody, and it's not really that hard, Jackson, because like straight up, anybody that supports what ICE is doing, right? Debatably, even if you just support their existence as an institution, but certainly if you make excuses for their recent actions, if you say that like it was totally permissible, especially, but you know, even if you just like run defense for them, you're a fascist. You are supporting what they're doing. That's fascism. Okay, it is.
Framing it as though I'm calling for that to rile up
And
a
I
response
would-
against me.
I would-
Hint that you are.
I would
Someone
die
called
on
you
that
Nazis
hill,
or
okay?
fascists,
And
or
I
even
wouldn't
implied
die
that
on the
you
hill
would. I
because
think
I
you
would
know all
fucking
of that.
win
I think you
an argument
Again,
easily.
like, I guess you didn't specifically use like the words like this person is a Nazi, this person is a fascist. But I mean, that, like all the stuff that he said in like the previous videos. I mean, it's all
might
implied.
be intentionally framing it as
I
though
feel
I'm
like
calling
I'm
for
being
that to
gaslit, like,
rile up a response against me, which I think is pretty disgusting and irresponsible.
Wait, to rile
but
up
I just
a
wanted to make that
response?
clear. If you have a
No.
problem with my hat, just Google Woody Guthrie. He famously wrote this slogan on his guitar to represent the idea that art could fight back against the rise of fascism.
Okay, but if you are wearing that on your hat and then you make a dude, this is like maximum gaslight, bro. This is unreal, dude.
If you have a problem with this video, check it up with Dan Harmon. That's his rant.
Wait,
Yes,
what?
the community.
No, he's that's actually a good point. What Jackson just said there. Okay, and then you totally ignored it. Let me replay that so we can catch you ignoring
that
it in
art could fight back against the rise
4K.
of fascism.
Okay, but if you are wearing
Okay,
that on
but
your
if
hat
you-
and then you make a dude,
But, and then,
dude,
and
this
then
is like maximum
you,
gaslight, bro. This is unreal.
Yeah, it's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. Yeah, dude. Yeah, because historically there's no precedent for artists combating fascism by using words like this guitar, this machine, the whatever kills fascist. Okay, no. These words have meaning. Okay, they aren't meant to be taken literally, as in, you know, we want to kill all fascists. You know, no, that's not what Guthrie was saying with his guitar. And that's the point that Jackson is making, which you are completely ignoring.
If you have a problem with this video, check it up with Dan Harmon. That's his rant. Yes, the
I
community.
wonder
guy.
why.
Yeah, but then you made a fan video about it and you edited the video.
Yes,
Like,
the Rick and Morty
what?
guy. I just thought his rant went pretty hard. In an ideal world,
Then he says it was a good rant right after. Wait a minute, bro. This can't be real. This can't be real, bro. I'm getting so
Wait,
gaslit
what?
right now. There's no way.
anyone
Wait, a video about Dan Harmon? A rant? What? Does anybody know what they're talking about right now?
actually
I
stepping down Main Street waving swastika
I'm
flags
lost.
would probably be tried for treason, but I don't actually
Wait, what?
thought his rant went pretty hard. In an ideal world, anyone actually goose stepping down Main Street waving swastika flags would probably be tried for treason, but
Is it? He's
Yeah.
Canadian, right? That's First Amendment. Yeah, it's First Amendment. Because otherwise, I could say the same thing. Well, anybody like waving a Palestine Hamas flag should get tried for treason, right? Like,
I don't
He's the same
actually
thing.
think
Yeah, not treason. I do not agree with that. Okay. However, you know, I think that like there should be limits on this kind of speech. Okay, yeah, straight up. Okay, and the reason that I think this isn't because you know, like these ideas are wrong. These ideas are abhorrent even. It's because they're dangerous. They are dangerous to our democracy. Look at what if you don't believe me, look at the history of Germany. Look at the Weimar Republic and what happened to it and how the Nazis rose to power. There need to be limits on speech like this. Okay, because race hate is not a ideology. It's not an opinion. It is a disease. It is a disease of the mind, okay? It is a mind virus, unironically. And it has no place in tomorrow's democracy. It has to be stopped. And the way to stop it is not with violence, necessarily. Okay, although... yeah, I mean, that might do it, okay? But with you know, I would much prefer compassion, okay? Psychiatric evaluation. That's what race haters need. They need, like, professional help, bro. They need to be institutionalized, just like we would for schizophrenics, right? Like schizophrenics who are unhinged and are a danger to themselves and others. They need to be institutionalized, evaluated, and prescribed a treatment. Okay, whatever the I'm not a medical professional. I cannot say what that treatment would be. All that I advocate for is that it is done and it is humane. Okay, so like, I do not, even though I advocate for the institutionalization of the racist in our society, I do not advocate for inhumane treatment of them. Okay, even though their ideas are abhorrent and evil, it's just that that's not the point. Okay, the point is that they are mentally sick. They need help.
Think any of you are that kind of person, and I never said you were. I don't think I even implied that.
If you, for example, say on your platform live in front of your audience, right, of potentially hundreds of people, if you say that one ethnic group is inferior to you, to your people, that is mental sickness. That's a real problem. Okay, if you liken Palestinians to orcs, for example, just as a random example, right? If you say that, you are mentally unwell. You need to be institutionalized. You need psychiatric help. Okay? Because that's not an opinion. It's just delusion.
People like you and a lot of the person,
superiority.
I don't think I even implied that you were.
Delusion.
Never be able to live normal lives in a civilized society ever again. We're not gonna get our normal. It's frustrating when people like you and a lot of the people in my comments will say things like, "Oh, come on, man, how come you hate me for my words and my politics? It's just speech, bro. Like, it's not real." Because none of the negative consequences of your votes affect you. You aren't getting kidnapped.
You sent me a link again. Sure. Jackson reposted video done in memes and clips waiting for the thumbnail art before uploading with Revan Straw being crucified. I feel like I'm being gaslit, bro. I like actually feel like I'm being gaslit right now. Like, actually.
By mass federal agents on the way to work because it's just speech, bro. Like, it's not real. Because none of the negative consequences of your votes affect you.
No. None of the negative consequences of your votes. Porter, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. Having been born in Canada, been overrun by communists and people of questionable intelligence. Band thank you so much for the 500 bits as well. You think these people comment on it for attention to seem relevant?
I mean, Canadian liberal, yeah, that tracks. Okay, this person does kind of seem like a Canadian.
If brought into a debate, let's see the convention stand on trial. Like, I mean, honestly, that's why I like debating people. You know, that's why I really like it. I love having the person like in the ring where they can't run. Like, I love it. I thrive on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's so great. It's why I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, because you when it comes to making content, debate, arguing, political commentary, you only pick the dumbest of the dumb. Okay, you have to, right? And I'm not even saying that Jackson is really like bottom of the barrel exactly. Like, Jackson, seems to make some good points, or decent at articulating. Okay, but Leaflit. But, certainly Jackson is, kind of lacking in this sort of thing. And that's why Leaflit is going to, like, pick you to react, okay? Like, Leaflit's not going to fucking react to me. I'd be surprised. I'd be pleasantly surprised, mind you. But, Leaflit is going to react to very obviously stupid people, okay? And she's going to debate even dumber people in front of a live audience, like Tazuko, who is the token woke-tard that she debates every now and then, and you know, owns an epic style. Because they're stupid.
That kind of format. But anyway, so on this topic,
because none of the negative consequences of your votes affect you.
None of the negative consequences of your votes affect you. First of all, I don't think that matters. I don't think that a negative effect of a vote has to affect me for it to be valid. I just don't agree with that premise in the first place. I mean, I can give you like a good example, right? So say I were to say that okay, we're going to increase penalties for criminals, right? That would never affect me because like, I'm not going to commit a crime. So why does that matter? Does that mean I'm not allowed to like?
Wait, but I don't think that's what he said, right? He was saying that your vote, right, your opinion, right, your rhetoric, even, it has real-world consequences, okay, and it affects people, right? Not just this person in particular. Not like it doesn't just affect me; it affects everyone, right? Maybe it even doesn't affect me. Right, there was just, I don't think there was any implication, or was there? Is that what
I can give you like a good example, right? So, say none of the person like in the ring where they can't run, like I love it. I thrive on that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's so great. It's why I'm a huge fan of that kind of format. But anyway, so on this topic,
you are not real because none of the negative consequences of your votes affect you.
None of the negative consequences of your votes affect you. First of all, I don't think that matters. I don't think that a negative effect of a vote has to affect me for it to be valid. I just don't agree with that premise in the first place. I mean, I can give you like a good example, right? So, say
no, the point that this person was making is that the reason there is like a cold callousness to people that vote for Republicans is because Republican policy often either doesn't affect them or they feel like it doesn't affect them. In reality, Republican policy very much does affect average people. Okay, like when they dismantle our education, when they further privatize our healthcare. Okay, these are things that affect pretty much everyone in the like average in the you know, normal people category. Okay.
I were to say that okay, we're going to increase penalties for criminals, right? That would never affect me because like, I'm not going to commit a crime. So why does that matter? Does that mean I'm not allowed to like vote? Am I not allowed to vote to like impose laws that will protect me, that have no negative effect on me? That doesn't make any sense, right? These people talk as if the words they use don't hold weight when it suits them. You're a Nazi should be killed. It's a joke, or is it? Yeah, and that's what I meant. That's why I'm kind of curious. Like I would just love to just ask, well, what did you mean by that, right? Because then I can say, what do you mean by that? And then when they explain it, I can dig deeper. I can dig deeper and dig deeper until I find out what they actually believe, right? So in which case we expose that either they're bullshitting the whole time and they didn't actually mean anything that they're saying, or that they actually did mean it. Because it's one or the other, right? These people want Revan Straub dead? Probably. I don't know though. I don't know the answer to that. That's in their heart. Are they flounder like Taz? So like, and this is the problem, I think. Villains that are relatable, like relatable in like a way that you can understand them, they never are the villains of their story. They're always the heroes of their story. And I think that's kind of what's going on with a lot of this, is I think a lot of them, they think that what they're doing is the right thing. This is what I talked about earlier with like abortion, in the abortion thing, right? This is what started the whole abortion debate with, is that I don't actually think that the people that are for abortion, I don't think they understand the gravity of like their decision. Does that make sense? I like, in my mind, it's very obviously it's like a murder. Very obviously it's like a thing, at the very minimum, it's a disrespect to human life, right? At the very, very minimum. You know, I already told you what I believe on that. But what I'm saying is like, if you were to distill what it is, like a love and approval of abortions, it's at the very, very minimum level of infraction. It's at least the disrespect of human life, right? And the thing is they don't actually think that that's a thing. Like they think that it's literally not a life and that it's literally a clump of cells, right? That's really what they believe. It would be like the equivalent of throwing a rock or like kicking a rock or driving down a dirt road.
Yeah, because it's not a human. It's not. You saying it don't make it true.
It's like it's the same thing for them. They don't understand the gravity of it. So it's like I can at the same time think that their beliefs and their actions are terrible, but at the same time I can also understand that they've been tricked, they've been lied to, they don't understand. And do you want to know a good historical parallel to that? Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." That's kind of like how I see it, to be honest. It's kind of like the same. And that's why like when I see people like this,
you're such a good person. You really see things from the other side. You totally don't fucking build straw mans every time and then knock them over and then pretend like you're a big brain genius.
And again, like maybe this is just like woman debuff or something, but it's really hard for me to like outright hate them because I can kind of see like how their mind has been infected, has been twisted. And so like a lot of the people I really dislike are the people that are like lying on purpose for the purposes of power. Now those people, fuck those people, right? And I don't know, it's kind of rough. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell like what's in a person's heart. Like why do they think the way they do? And that's why I want to talk to them and I want to understand where it comes from, because then I can make a determination of, oh, okay, so you're just an evil person. You know what I mean? Like I want to know. I want to peel the mask back and I want to see it myself. You can't save some of those people, Leaf. I know you can't. But I want to try, because that's what the hero Himmel would have done. Anyway.
You aren't getting kidnapped. kidnapped by masked federal agents on the way to work because of the color of your skin.
Not getting kidnapped by masked federal agents on your way to work because of the color of your skin. So like I can see that actually being, well, not the kidnapping part, but I can see the part about them saying, hey, prove your prove your citizenship. Like I can see that because of the color of the skin, but that's only because, well, no, actually, never mind. That's not true. I had to think about it for a second. So like it's possible that it could happen in which they would mistake a person for an illegal when they're not illegal. But the reason behind that is because most of the illegals are from certain places in the world, right? Most of the illegals are either from a Middle Eastern country, South America, like Southeast Asia to India, right? So like most of the illegals would be from there. It's more likely a person would get stopped mistakenly when they're of that demographic. That just makes sense. Well, Big Man, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you, I really appreciate it. And is that so? Like, I mean, if they had the thing and they were looking for the person, and then the person looked like the person, yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like, that's not because of the color of their skin necessarily. That's not like this person is Latino, like snatch him up. This is like they have the thing. They have a description of somebody that matches the description of an innocent person, and then that person would get stopped and then ask for their ID. And then if that person doesn't have their ID and is unable to prove their citizenship, then yeah, they might get snatched up for further investigation. That just makes sense. What's wrong with that? Am I crazy? Like, I don't even see anything wrong with that.
Or your accent, even though you're a citizen. You
Wow, yeah, you don't carry your fucking passport with you at all times? Yeah, well then you get kidnapped. Yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with kidnapping people because they can't immediately present their passport? Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know why people have, you're right. Why do people have a problem with that? That's
aren't
crazy.
having your access to doctor-prescribed medication taken away from you because of religious nutjob.
Wait, doctor-prescribed medication? You mean like, is he talking about like trans stuff for kids? Yeah, see, that's like a completely different thing. So the thing is people don't agree with that treatment for kids. Most people don't. Yeah.
Who want to impose their morality on this entire.
Except, it's not just trans kids that have lost access to hormone replacement. It's also kids that need hormones, or they could succumb to medical complications. Do you understand? So it is a problem. People need life-saving medication, and they can't get it because the government is transphobic. So worth it. So worth it. Yeah, we're really owning the libtards. Okay, but anyway, it doesn't just make it difficult for kids to get the medication either. I've known adults that lost access to their medication because of these laws as well. Because these laws don't just target children. They also target trans people in general. Okay? But it negatively affects people that need the hormone replacement for, like, not dying, for the purposes of staying alive.
Entire country.
It's not even necessarily about morality. It's about protecting children. So for instance, if I said, oh, you're telling me.
Okay, this is a classic conservative like trope. Okay, platitude. We're protecting the kids. We're just protecting the kids, brother. That's what we're doing.
You don't want to let that 30-year-old have a sex with a kid? Wow, why are you imposing a morality on me? You see what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Well, actually, hold on. You know what? You're right. Actually, you know what? You are right. You are right. We are imposing a morality. Yeah.
Yo, my bad, Leaflit. My bad for saying that you just build straw man and then knock them down. Yo, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. That was so not a straw man. What you just said there. That's exactly what I hear woketards saying all the time. That's exactly what I hear them saying. They say, 30-year-olds should be able to have sex with children. Yeah, it's definitely not the elite pedophile class that is saying that instead.
That's what, of course, why wouldn't we?
At the top of our society.
You lose your job because of tariffs that are wreaking havoc on our economy for no good reason. You aren't a child.
I mean, there's a reason behind the tariffs. Like, the tariffs are a little bit more gray. Like, I personally don't agree with the tariffs. Just throwing it out there. Personally, I don't like it. I don't like taxes. I'm against them. But I understand why people I understand the theory behind it. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Who will suffer from a preventable disease as a result of
no, Leaflet, you don't understand. It's taxes on other countries. Yeah, the other countries are paying the taxes. Definitely not, average working Americans at the grocery store. Yeah, they're not paying the tariffs. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Okay, 96% of the tariff money is paid by Americans. Sorry.
Undermining of vaccinations.
Sorry, I know, I'm woke-tarded.
This is what I mean. Like, I feel like, do they even know what the arguments are? Like, I can't tell. Like, are they just making shit up, or do they not know what it is? Like, I don't know. Nicodemus, thank you so much for the kicks, by the way. Why is Madeline solving all logically tax a reflection of someone's idea of morality? ASFG, thanks so much for the bits. No. So I'm not even gonna go on that. It's like crazy saying that like RFK made us do the same vaccine schedule as the Holy Land of Europe. Okay, well, that's a whole different thing. On the topic of the vaccine, the idea that the medical establishment is infallible is just wrong. It's just wrong. Like the entire food pyramid thing was wrong. They were wrong about trans fats. They were wrong about eggs. They were wrong about so much shit. They were wrong about saturated fats. Like they're just wrong about everything. And so like the idea that like we can't like say like, okay, well, you know, we have new science in, or this thing is not proven enough.
Wait, what?
But no. So I'm not even gonna go on that. It's like crazy saying that like RFK made us do the same vaccine schedule as the Holy Land of Europe. Okay, well, that's a whole different thing. On the topic of the vaccine, the idea that the medical
RFK snorted coke off of a toilet seat, and you expect people to like trust his judgment as the health secretary?
Is just wrong. It's just wrong. Like the entire food pyramid thing was wrong. They were wrong about trans fats. They were wrong about eggs. They were wrong about so much shit. They were wrong about saturated fats. Like they're just wrong about everything. And so like the idea that like
all they did was like flip it upside down. That's all they just fucking turned it upside down.
We can't like say like, okay, well, you know, we have new science in, or this thing is not proven enough. The fact that we can't say that because it's established science doesn't make any sense. So like in the case with the vaccines, right? And this is what I mean is I don't even think they understand the argument. With vaccines, this is the thought behind vaccines. Okay, let's assume that the COVID vaccine, you know, for the purposes of argument, let's assume that the COVID vaccine actually works. We're gonna grant that for the purpose of this argument, just so it's easy. Okay, just because it works doesn't mean that there are negative side effects that would affect people. All right. Now, phase 2 of the argument. Okay, how many kids get killed by COVID versus how many kids have lifelong medical issues due to the vaccine side effects? Now, which one is higher? Right. So the idea is that, well, listen, these vaccines don't really this disease, this virus doesn't affect kids that much.
It's always it is worth it. It is worth it. We're talking about the death of millions of people without vaccines. Okay, that's what we're talking about. You know, no, the vaccines are good. Okay, we need vaccines. Do you know what would have happened if we didn't have vaccines? We would all have polio right now. We'd be in the iron lung, okay, bro? Like, that's... Like, vaccines have saved countless number of lives, okay? So, get vaccinated. It doesn't just protect you. It protects everybody that you know. Because if you get COVID, you spread it to other people. Therefore, if you don't get it because you got vaccinated, like a normal person, then you can't spread it to other people.
They usually get sick.
Like there are people who can't get vaccinated because they're immunocompromised. Okay, so those people rely on healthy people like us to get vaccinated so that we don't give them the virus. Do you understand? Like, you're right. These vaccines can have side effects, like, you know, fucking death if you're immunocompromised. So there are people who can't get it.
Really quick, and then they're fine. And then they have
them.
Natural immunity that is built through our natural immune systems, right? Where we develop antibodies against it, like a basically self-manufactured vaccine, if you will. That's a natural course of things, right? If that's the case, and it doesn't really affect kids that much, but the side effects are bad for kids, which we think that there are. There's a lot of talk about there being issues with blood clots, issues with other what's it called, myocarditis, or there's a bunch of...
there's a lot of talk. Okay, I don't give a fuck about talk. I care about data. Statistical analysis, Leaflit. Like, if you're gonna make these claims that COVID COVID has all these side, like, yeah, the vaccine has side effects, okay, similar side effects to COVID. COVID has side effects that last a long time. Okay, of course it does. It's a powerful virus. It will wreck your body. This isn't a fucking argument. It's like not.
Different diseases that they're attributing
a higher
percentage of those occurring in people.
This is dressed up as like intellectual statistical analysis in the sense that, like, oh, we're just trying to like minimize the damage. Like, oh, well, you know, maybe a few kids will die, but we got to be careful with these vaccines. It's like, dude, you are advocating for the death of many of your loved ones, many of your neighbors. Stop doing this.
Have the vaccines, right? So that's really what the talk is. Is it worth it? And like, maybe if the kid is immunocompromised in some way, or if they have issues with you know, breathing, like they have a bad respiratory because COVID attacks respiratory, right? If they have bad respiratory, maybe like you can make the case that the risk of the vaccine is more worth it compared to the risk.
What? No, it's dude, it is literally the opposite. You are so stupid. You are so stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm going to bang my head on the table. Oh. Holy crap. Donut says, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck, man. Hey, homie, I can share your stream. Yeah, okay, go share it then, bitch. Leaflit, bro, it is literally the opposite. If somebody is immunocompromised, they are a lot less likely, like, maybe they get the vaccine, it depends on the person, okay, but, like, if somebody is immunocompromised, that is actually a direct reason to not get vaccinated, It is a lot more risky for a person like that to take a vaccine of any sort, let alone with a virus as perverse as COVID. Okay, so like, no, this isn't how it works. You're stupid. You're so
risk
fucking
that they
stupid.
would have from contracting COVID in its full force more bad than the side effects potential of the vaccine. And that's like a balance. That's like a conversation that's being made. This isn't like a question of like, well, the vaccine does nothing wrong, and you know we just blast everyone with it because why not? That's not the conversation. There's pluses and minuses on both sides, and we're trying to weigh both sides of the argument. It's not that simple. They try to like act like it's so simple when it's not. Thanks so much for the bits. The only reason they care about science and medical field is because they have
You are the one that is oversimplifying this issue, this complex issue, because we're talking about people's bodies. We're talking about the physiology of humans, okay, which is pretty diverse, okay? Like, people be having different issues with their body. Immunocompromised people they have to be very careful about getting vaccinated, okay? Like, those are the last people that should be vaccinated, not the first. What the fuck are you talking about?
And it makes the people happy that like the
That's
test of how it
crazy.
helps people, how the booster vaccine help people. Yeah, thank you, Ace, thank you. And Engage Target, thank you for the bits. Japan pushed back their vaccine schedule back to 5, and the SID's cases dropped drastically. Just saying. Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of research being done on that, right? Now, the point that Trump made, and the point that a lot of people, conservatives, like anti-vaccine people, the point that they're making is that this shit isn't really well tested. That's the argument. The argument is like, yo, you're gonna fucking inject me with some fucking shit that has like some like DNA altering shit in there. You're gonna inject me with that shit, and like you haven't tested it that much. That's their argument. Like, who the fuck would argue against it? Like, if there was no side effects. But every drug has side effects. Even like Advil, like the Advil you have on the counter. Like, I take this shit when I need it like really bad, but it has side effects. Like, it fucks up your stomach and all sorts of shit. Right? So like the idea that these medicines have zero side effects and it's only like pure benefit is just not true. Thank you, Darth Andrew. Thank you for the bits. I personally suffer from
nobody is making that claim. Okay, the medical experts, the researchers came to the reasonable conclusion that it makes sense to push for people to get this vaccine after it went through clinical trials. Okay, like, yeah, they pushed it out as fast as they could. Of course they did. There was a massive pandemic and people were dying. But regardless, a lot of thought went into this. A lot of research from medical professionals who spend their entire careers studying viruses, various viruses, you know, including but not limited to the like COVID family or whatever it is. You know, there's like different coronaviruses. Anyway.
Nature syndrome causes massive fatigue, random brain fog strong enough to put you to bed, and this affected your concentration down to the point it could passive sobriety does all caused by COVID shots. That's pretty crazy if true. But one thing you gotta be careful of, John Andrea, is that sometimes people psych themselves into thinking that they have issues, which is why it's so dangerous. Like, okay, this is kind of a hot take. This is why it's so dangerous to basically tell kids that they have certain afflictions. It's really bad to do that because of placebo effect. Like, this is an effect that we all know about. This is a real scientifically understood effect that if you tell somebody that they have like some kind of disease or something like that, it will actually manifest symptoms of that disease because they think that they have it. Which is why when you tell kids like, oh, you have ADD, oh, you're autistic or whatever, and that's like the first thing that they do, it's kind of dangerous because it could lead to them actually believing that that's the case and then actually manifesting the actual like symptoms of that thing. The nocebo effect. Sorry, nocebo. Right. In summary, a lot of this stuff is more complicated than they try to say it is. They try to like come up with some very simple answer for everything when it's not. It's not that simple.
Entirety of our healthcare system. I assume your parents probably vaccinated you. You aren't dying in a hospital bed in Texas because the doctors are too afraid to be prosecuted for removing your non-viable fetus that is literally killing you.
I'm not even gonna get to that. I did a whole debate on abortion if you want my take on that, and that whole like women dying from. Watch the other video. I did an entire debate with somebody on abortion.
And you aren't laying somewhere in a bed dying because USAID used to pay for your treatment until Elon Musk decided to take.
Oh, but USA doesn't do that. So I was like, wait, what? So I was looking at it myself. USA doesn't pay for medical treatments for Americans. It's foreign development humanitarian assistance.
Take a break from begging Epstein for an invite to his pedo and let you for removing a bed dying because USAID used to pay for your treatment until Elon Musk decided to take a break from begging Epstein for an invite to his pedo island to kill that program, dooming thousands of people to death.
So there was a lot of fraud around USAID, which is why they shut it down.
Not losing an energy drink sponsor, not just getting called mean names.
Where is the evidence of that? Where is the evidence? I believe that there is a lot of fraud in our government. Okay, on the side of healthcare providers. Okay. And in pretty much every institution, I'm sure there is fraud and corruption going on. But you have to provide evidence for it. There was virtually no evidence that USAID was like committing lots of fraud, lots of pervasive fraud within the institution. And they just totally shut it down when it was the only institution doing soft power initiatives for our country. Okay, like, by soft power, I mean like doing nice things for other countries so that they don't fucking hate us because of all the bombs that we drop on them.
Internet being nasty to you, death because of this disgusting pedo ghoul that you all spend day after day shilling for because a trans girl won a sport once. This isn't the type of response video where I'm gonna sit here.
Wait, what? Because a trans girl won a sport once? What? I mean, once. Hasn't it happened like a bunch of times? I'm just confused, man. Thank you, Ace. Thank you for the bits. I'm just
After
confused.
watching all their videos, going through everything.
I mean, once. Hasn't it happened like a bunch of times? I'm just confused.
Yeah, look at all these evil trans women that won in their sport. Like, come on. Like, these people get mad when they win fucking bronze, when they come in like third. It's like, oh yeah, they did that because they're trans.
Confused,
That's
man.
why.
Thank you, Ace. Thank you for the bits. I'm just
After
confused.
watching all their videos, going through everything point by point. I just want to hit on one
Pete.
big topic.
Thank you so much for the kicks, for the 100 kicks. The fact that people lost faith in the medical professionals is the fault of the professional, not the people. Have you asked this guy for a live debate? No, not really. I don't know if they would debate me, to be honest.
It's at the core of our disagreement over ICE's recent activities.
The reason there's so many ICE agents in Minneapolis is because the police refused to help them, and they needed backup from more ICE agents in order to protect the ICE agents that were doing the arrests. And that happened. So in Texas and Florida, the actual state of Texas, the actual state of Florida, and the local police are actually helping. They're helping with the crime aspect, the protest aspect. So they don't have to worry about that. They don't need as many people.
This idea that they are conducting, in the words of the DHS, the largest immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota simply because they have illegal immigrants and the state doesn't cooperate with them is a lie. And it's not even a very good lie. The White House has openly stated that this operation was about fraud. Here's a timeline for those of you who are not aware. December 2nd, Trump says he doesn't want Somalis in the U.S. This was after he...
Oh, he not want Somali immigrants in the U.S. saying residents of war-ravaged Eastern African country are to rely on U.S. social safety net. Okay, wait, what's bad about that? Wait, hold on. What is bad about that? Like, even the thing that he posted, like, what is bad about that? That's great. Yeah, good.
Went on social media to allege that Minnesota is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity.
Which they found a lot of money laundering fraud. Was it like billions of dollars?
Referring to a recent story ran by a conservative news outlet, City Journal, which claimed that taxpayers...
No, it wasn't billions. It was 820 million, which I have in the past, whenever this topic comes up, you know, really whenever the topic of fraud in the U.S. government comes up at all, I love to bring up the Pentagon, okay? That's right. I'm doing a whataboutism. That's a whataboutism. Well, yeah, bitch, it is. Because what about it? What about the fucking Pentagon? Like, if you're gonna complain about, like, black people, brown people stealing money, okay, or whatever, then we should talk about the Pentagon, okay? Because let's say that the Somalis, the evil Somali immigrants, actually stole as much money as they're saying they did. And I'm not saying that they didn't, okay? Certainly there were several dozen Somalis within that community, right, of thousands and thousands of people that were committing fraud. Okay, they were. And the estimate that I last saw, the figure was $822 million. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That ain't no drop in the bucket, J-Star. Well, actually, when you put it next to the Pentagon and the money that is unaccounted for, it actually is a drop in the bucket. Okay, in fact, it's about 0.05%. Okay, that's right. If you take the largest figure, if you assume the worst about the Somalis, right, and you say they stole 822 million, and then you look at the lowest figure for the amount of unaccounted funds directed to the Pentagon since 2011, it would only be 0.05% of that. Not even, only 0.1%, bro.
Dollars from defrauded government programs have flowed to the Somali militant group Al-Shabaab. Also in the
And again, 820 million, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of fucking money. That could help a lot of people. 820 million. So think about that.
Tells Associated Press that federal authorities are preparing a targeted immigration enforcement operation in Minnesota that would primarily focus on Somali immigrants.
Okay.
December 4th, Operation Metro Surge begins in Minnesota. December 8th, Trump has linked his administration's immigration crackdown against Minnesota.
Yo, I just realized that in Leaflit's recommended, there's the fucking Chibi reviews video. Bro, why didn't you watch that, bro? Why didn't you watch that? Come on, that's Tectone. That's your goat. That's your go. Go help him defend Chibi Reviews,
To
bro.
a series of fraud cases involving government
Come on.
programs in which many defendants have roots in the East African country.
Okay.
December 26th, Nick Shirley's fraud videos released and goes viral. January 2nd, the White House doubles down on the idea that operations in Minnesota are related to fraud by Somalis. They specifically mention the Nick Shirley video.
Okay.
January 6th, more than 2,000 agents are sent to Minnesota, making Metro Surge the largest operation of its kind in the country. Throughout this entire chain of events, the Trump administration repeatedly linked Metro Surge to Somali fraud in that state. Aside from that, if this operation was
So like if them going this kind of like reminds me of like the whole thing of aren't you only going after like violent illegals or whatever? It's like I don't care if they're violent or not, right? Like I feel like it's the same argument here where it's like, oh, we're going after Somalis who committed fraud. You're also going after just Somalis in general that are illegal. Yeah, okay. Like I don't care. Like sure. Is it
just about illegal immigration, then why did Bondi pressure them to turn over their...
Well, Leaflit, you should care. You should care because deportations aren't just some, like, you know, fun little punishment for minor infractions. Deportation is an incredibly, inherently violent process. It is. Anybody that, like, tries to say that it isn't, it's just, they're either lying, they don't know what the process actually looks like. It is violent. It is incredibly violent. And it is not at all an apt punishment for non-violent criminals who simply committed the abhorrent crime of not renewing their papers. Okay? It's messed up, basically.
their voter rolls.
Let's keep
I
going.
don't know. Like maybe there's some voter fraud there going on as well.
Activity is only about illegal immigration. Then why did Brian Kilmeade from Fox openly admit that they're winding down a little in Maine to help Senator Susan Collins? These people aren't even bothering to lie about what the reason is, but here you are lying for them.
Wait, what's the reason?
Bothering to lie Maine to help Senator Susan Collins.
No, wait, but hold on. But he didn't even address my point. He didn't even address my point that the reason why there were so many ICE agents was because they had to protect the ICE agents that were getting protested again, and the local government wasn't helping them. He didn't even respond to my point.
These people aren't even bothering to lie about what the reason is.
Because they don't give a fuck about them. Of course that's not the fucking reason. The reason that they packed a bunch of ICE agents, Border Patrol agents into Minneapolis was in the hopes that somebody would kill one of them, and then they could declare martial law. That is obviously the reason. Okay, the Somalis were just an excuse. 90% of the Somalis, the Somali population in the United States, in Minneapolis, are Americans. They are American citizens, right? And that the last 10% of these people are most likely legal residents. Okay, so like my point is that like they clearly were just using the Somalis as a scapegoat to send in Border Patrol agents, to send in ICE agents, so they could brutalize the population, so that some, you know, sovereign citizen or whatever would shoot one of them, and then they get to declare martial law. Then we get to do the Insurrection Act. Okay, that's it. It was
just the love of the game.
It's a Reichstag fire. It's just they were trying to do another Reichstag fire.
But the reason why people don't like Dan Walls is because all of his fraud happened underneath him. That's why people are mad at him.
So we know the pretext for this, and everything that happened after it is the Somali fraud scandal. We hate Tim Walz, and we're sending ICE to harass his constituents because the fraud happened on his watch, and he...
No, because there's a lot of fraud, and so we just don't want the fraud because it's like federal fraud.
Okay, but yeah, but that is not ICE's jurisdiction. ICE is supposed to find illegal immigrants and deport them. Now, I don't agree with like the morality of that. Obviously, I think it's wrong, but that is their purpose. Okay, so their purpose is not to find fraudsters that are brown, right? When 90% of them are American citizens. They're supposed to find illegal. They're not even supposed to find, you know, legal non-residents committing fraud. They are supposed to find illegal immigrants. That is their stated purpose. So what business is it of theirs if Somalis are committing fraud in Minneapolis? Like, it is a different agency, right, that needs to investigate this and charge them. And that's what's been happening. And that's why your narrative makes no fucking sense. Okay? Obviously, they weren't there to find the fraudsters. It's not their stated purpose. And that's not what they did while they were there either.
Everybody's paying for that. We don't want that. We don't want to deal with that shit. Yeah, of course. He thinks he gets much for the best. Thank you. Funny that he sounds like he's reading headlines. He's like, I don't know.
Except he wasn't. Governor Walz worked through 2025 pushing new measures to fight fraud in that state. The only reason Nick Shirley even knew about the fraud in Minnesota in the first place is because there had been open prosecutions and convictions on these cases since the Biden administration. None of the businesses featured in Nick Shirley's video had been found to have committed any fraud, but okay, still the fraud. It's the Biden administration. None of the businesses featured in Nick Shirley's video have been found to have committed any fraud, but
is the logic, hold on, is the logic behind this that they haven't been convicted yet, so the fraud's not real, even though we can all see what's going on, and then you're telling me that the guy who like runs the Leering Center just happened to lose all the papers like right after?
No, the point is that there is already active investigation happening. Okay, so obviously they weren't there. The ICE agents were not there to investigate them. There was already investigation happening. This is just stupid. It's stupid. It is like clear obfuscation of what this person is saying.
It's exposed? Oh yeah, some people broke into our business and stole the papers, but they didn't steal anything else. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, still, the fraud happened on Tim's watch. It's still his responsibility, so hating Tim Walz is still valid. Okay, sure. By the way, what's Donald Trump's record on fraud? The Small Business Administration Office of Inspector General estimates that over 2...
So wait, hold on.
Yeah,
So you're telling me...
I wasn't gonna bring it up. Yeah, it just because Donald Pump does fraud doesn't mean that like the brown people in Minneapolis should be allowed to do it. But you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, well, if you care so much about fraud in America, then yeah, what do you make of this?
$100 billion in potentially fraudulent economic injury disaster loans.
Okay, so for the Tim Walz and for the Somalis, you use a different standard in which you say that, well, you know, there's alleged fraud, but it hasn't been convicted yet, so therefore no fraud has occurred. But then with Donald Trump, you look at something that says it's potential, and then you say that he did commit fraud because of it. The standard is not the same.
And payment protection program funds.
No, he definitely committed fraud. No, we're talking about Donald Trump. Okay, yeah, he committed fraud. What are we talking? I could probably think of at least I could definitely think of 3 different cases where he definitely committed fraud off the top of my head. No, he has done this. He's done this. The point is that nobody talks about it. And furthermore, he hasn't been prosecuted for it. Interesting.
SBA officials have noted that 86% of this likely fraud occurred in the first 9 months of the pandemic under the Trump administration.
You want to know the difference? I'm going to say it. I'll always say it. My actual beliefs on this, very consistent. If Trump committed a ton of fraud, he should get in trouble for it. If the Somalians committed a ton of fraud, they should get in trouble for it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's...
Okay, but they're not. They're not prosecuting him for it. The Somalis, there is an active investigation. Dozens of arrests. Dozens of convictions. Donald Trump, on the other hand, no arrest, no convictions for the fraud. Okay, no trials, no charges.
I don't care if it's Hassan, if it's Asmongold, if it's Trump, if it's JD Vance, if it's Tim Walz, if it's Kamala Harris. I don't care. I don't care, Margaret. I don't care.
Yeah,
fraud
you're so
is considered to be
consistent.
possibly the largest fraud scandal in American history, and 86% of it occurred on Trump's watch. Changpeng Zhao, CEO of Binance, pled guilty to U.S. anti-money laundering violations.
Also, wait, hold on.
By Trump, Todd and Julie.
Wait, weren't these commuted sentences?
Convicted of bank fraud, tax evasion, and wire fraud.
Why were they
by
commuted?
Trump,
I don't think they were pardoned. Were these people pardoned? I don't think they were pardoned. I think it was commuted sentences. Well, there were people that had commuted sentences. Okay, well, we'll just let it go.
Native American tribe of $60 million, pardoned by Trump. Trevor Milton, CEO of Nikola, convicted of securities and wire fraud regarding lying to his investors.
They were just commuted sentences.
Insider trading.
President pardoning people, tell people not.
Yeah,
The thing is pardoning. Okay, so here's like the logical thing here. Okay, pardoning is a power that presidents have, and they use it for whatever reason. Whether or not that's good or not, I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have that power, but they do have that power, and every president has used it.
Deal, $1.6 billion Ponzi scheme. Sentence commuted by Trump. Adriana.
Yeah, but they haven't used it to bail out their friends who like defrauded the government. Like that's not. Yeah, no president has done that. Okay, this is unique.
Gross.
I don't know, because like for each of these, it would have to be. I would
And
have to
he's
look at
done
the
it a
cases,
lot.
Right? I don't know what the actual
As
circumstances
you
behind the
can
pardoning
see.
was. Because is it possible that these people got witch hunted? That's also possible too. Like we don't know.
Convicted of conspiracy to commit
I don't know
wire and
this.
mail fraud for a $49 million counterfeit 5-hour energy scheme.
Yeah,
Pardoned by Trump.
that's cope. That's cope.
Twice. Mark
Oh,
Racine.
maybe they were witch
Finding,
hunted, guys.
Okay, here's the
Maybe they
reasons.
were witch
Okay,
hunted.
Cheng Peng Zhao, the first person. The White House stated that the prosecution was motivated by desire to punish cryptocurrency industry, and that there were no identifiable victims. That's their reasoning behind it. Again, I don't know if this reasoning is good. I don't know if the reasoning is good. I don't
I don't know.
All I'm telling you is the reason the White House says that this happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Trump described the imprisonment as harsh treatment and a part of weaponized law enforcement. So a lot of these seem to be around the political prosecutions. Is like kind of
Guys, I'm not taking a stance. Okay, I have no backbone. don't. I have no real convictions. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm a charlatan. Don't worry, guys.
Devin Archer, Trump said that they were treated very unfairly and that he was a victim of the crime himself. Okay. Trump claimed Milton did nothing wrong and was prosecuted because he was an early supporter, and he described the prosecutors as a vicious group of people, which is like everybody knows. Every single aspect of the government was weaponized against Trump. All the investigations, there was the Russia stuff, all of the political prosecutions.
The Mueller report is fake. It's fake, yeah, bro.
In like New York and
going after
Trump and anyone around Trump in order to punish them.
I can't hear you. I'm not listening.
This happened when Trump went out of office. They like went after everybody. Like they went super hard on like all the January 6 people, even the people that didn't really right? And it's like they went after so many
the
people
January 6 people who were all pardoned, who all got out of jail when the January 6th directly resulted in the deaths of multiple police officers. Yeah, those people.
Everyone knows that there was a political angle for it.
That's fine.
So a lot of these pardons are basically, I'm not saying I know if this is true. I don't know if what the actual story behind it is. But what I'm telling you is this is what Trump
I don't know anything.
Okay?
I don't know.
Lewis, White House statement noted that the 88-year-old billionaire had admitted that he made a terrible mistake, and he requested a pardon for medical treatment so that he could visit family. So he was like, he's old and he's sick, and that's why he asked for the pardon, and then they just gave it to him because he's old anyway.
Because he's old anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, all the people who died in prison because they sold weed in the 80s, they can all fucking rot in prison, right? But because it's a CEO, well, he was old, he was sick, so we're gonna pardon him so he can go see his family. It's not like they don't have visitation or anything at the fucking resort prison that he was probably staying at, the fucking tennis court prison. Yeah, bro, great.
Apparently he was what's the word? Very
virtuous
very sorry for what he did. So, was that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, right? Like that's the reason for it. It wasn't like none of this. It doesn't seem. It seems like there's actual reasoning behind it, right? And like again, is it valid? Like, is it possible that Trump commuted them because he was like, yeah, you know what? I love people who commit fraud. Let me like pardon these guys because that's what I would do, right? I mean, is it possible? Sure. But then like there's an alternate explanation, and I'm providing the alternate.
No, it's not just possible. And you aren't providing an alternate explanation. You are coping. But it isn't just possible. It is definitely the case. It is definitely what happened. And what you are doing is not an alternative facts. It is just cope. You are just coping. Okay, that's what's happening.
From the point of view of Trump, right?
You're
Mark
on your
Rossini, Trump officials say the bribery case against Rossini and his co-defendants were politically motivated. Another one of the, they're going after people for political reasons. So David Gentile, this is Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, characterized the case as an example of weaponization of the justice system for the previous administration. And then you have George Santos claimed that he had been horribly mistreated, kept in solitary confinement for long stretches of time. Trump basically said that he did do bad things, but Trump wishes him a great life because there's a need for mercy and second chances. That's what Trump said. There it is. Those are the reasons behind it. According to Trump. So that's the alternate explanation for stuff, right?
A conspiracy to violate the Federal Election Campaign Act by bribing the Puerto Rican governor, pardoned by Trump. George Santos admitted to wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, making false statements to the FEC, and fraudulent unemployment claims. Sentence commuted by Trump. Trump coin, scamming his supporters with a crypto rug pull. Trump phone, took people's money and promised made in America phones, and all they've delivered are refurbished iPhones and Samsung phones. Trump's net worth has increased by over $3 billion since he became president.
He's spitting right now.
Thank you, Drew, for the bits. Thank you. The Cheng Tao and Zhao pardon was pretty sus, in all honesty. The Trump family's using cryptocurrency and Zhao's organization Binance brokered a huge investment for them. I'm not saying it's criminal, it's just sus. No, I totally agree. I think, again, I'm not saying like whether or not any of them are true or false. I don't know. I'd have to look into each individual case, right? Secret. Oh, this is great.
Okay, well, you don't exactly have to do a deep dive to figure it out, okay? So why don't you do some Google searches and figure it out, because it's really not that hard, bro. It really isn't. Like, yeah, it's fraud. He did fraud. It's very obvious.
I love it. How much do you
when you tell someone that you're gonna take their money, okay, I'm taking your money and I'm gonna give you a product down the line, and then you never deliver on that product, what do you call that? What I know what I call it.
Donald Trump was worth before he was president $4.5 billion. $4.5 billion, right? Now, how much is Trump worth now? $6.5 billion, right? Which is a percentage increase of 44.4%. It's a lot, right? So Jackson's kind of right here, right? That he did make a lot more money, 44.4%. Run that back with Obama. Net worth before presidency, $1.3 million. Net worth now after presidency, 70.
What about Obama? Well, yeah, okay, what about Obama? Yeah, I agree. They all do it. Okay, nobody is denying that. Okay, but you are distracting from Trump, the current president's crimes, right? His fraudulent behavior, by pointing at, look at the scary black president. Look at him. Yeah, he did. He had an even bigger percentage increase. Well, yeah, man. they're all doing it. They're all evil reptilian people. Okay, let's not try to pretend like that isn't the case.
$1 million, 5,285% increase.
Not to
Yeah, got
mention
him.
the
Obama
process of the
maxing,
2020
dude.
election by forging
Obama is obviously a better businessman than Trump. Obviously. That's what we're finding out here, guys. They're just good.
Dude, I think that a fucking inanimate rock is a better businessman than Trump, unironically.
Pelosi's just good too. She's like the best investor I've ever seen.
Like literally just not playing the game makes you a better businessman than
Man,
Trump.
crazy good. Holy crap. And thank you, Darth Andrew, again for the 100 bits. So Trump's businesses, which he doesn't control on office, game value good. He's so damn wealthy. He can be fun. I agree.
electors and attempting to have them
Every single venture he has made has failed in spectacular fashion.
Bot's dead. Bot was assassinated in the back room. Once I asked for Nancy Pelosi, it's over. It died. It's okay, Clunker. You did a good job. You did a good job. Can we get an F in chat for this Clunker? Yeah, give me some salutes in chat, some F in chat. You did his job.
And in states where he lost. So when you and anyone else tell me that the reason you hate Tim Walz is because of the fraud, meanwhile, there doesn't seem to be a peep out of any of you for this Trump stuff.
I hate Tim Walz for a lot of reasons. I just think he sucks, to be honest.
It's so incredibly frustrating. It makes me want to tear my fucking skin.
Okay, but I mean, okay, so if you don't like Trump for all the fraud, so you don't like Trump for the fraud.
Fuck is
so, like,
Leaflit?
can you not like Tim Walz too? Like, I mean, I don't get it. But you like Tim Walz and Gavin Newsom. I'm just confused. Like, shouldn't you hate all of them?
Get off. There's one thing that Leaflit said that I do, unfortunately.
You know, I can't speak for Jackson. I don't know if Jackson likes those people. I don't like any of them. I don't like any of the fucking politicians. The only one I kind of like right now is Zoran. He's the mayor of New York. Okay? And I like, you know, approximately like 4 of our representatives in Congress. But yeah, other than that, I just want to like stomp on their heads until they explode.
I find myself agreeing with.
Oh dear, what could possibly live in the same country like that? I mean, like, I think it's so obvious to me now that there really is such a cultural divide. There really is such a great cultural divide now that it almost feels like being a part of the same country is just impossible. This would be the thing. This would be the one thing he agrees with. That's crazy.
You know, it's pretty
That's
funny
crazy.
that a response I keep getting over and over to this previous video is, stop complaining, people voted for this, which is insane to me because most of you can't even accept the results of the 2020 election when it was investigated and
Oh, guys, I can't wait. I can't wait till all the information comes out with like freaking Tulsi Gabbard, and, like all of the stuff with all the Dominion voting machines and like the freaking Maduro. I can't wait. I can't wait. Please, I need it so bad. I need it so bad.
litigated more than any other election in modern U.S. history.
I
So
need
yeah,
That is the plan, by the way. Just so you know, that is like she's getting ahead of it, okay? And that's probably what'll happen, okay? For those of you that aren't following, Maduro, former president of Venezuela, was kidnapped and arrested. And what they are likely going to do is, in exchange for, you know, he's going to make a plea deal, they're going to say, okay, now admit that the voting machines were rigged. Okay, admit that the 2020 election was rigged. Okay, because these voting machines were manufactured in Venezuela. Now, regardless of this narrative making no fucking sense, because you think Maduro fucking cares if Hitler or Mecha Hitler is president of the United States? Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It didn't fucking matter to Venezuela who the president was. Okay, they're both evil. Okay, Venezuela, it's the same from Venezuela's perspective. Okay, like we're gonna bomb them, we're gonna sanction them. Obviously, they sided with China. Anyway, all that is to say, that is the plan. Okay, they're going to get Maduro to admit this. He probably will. He'll probably say that the election was rigged and that they did it. It was all Venezuela. Okay, that's it.
Oh, bad.
you have a point. I often find myself wondering how I am supposed to just act normal and go on with my life in this country. With
Oh,
people
right.
who
Oh, I guess he's American. He's not a Leaf.
with this awful administration and its unprecedented assault on our democracy and are this detached from reality. I really hope you all snap out of it.
I'm detached from reality. All right, answer a question for me. What is
So he's
alarming?
not
What does that
Canadian?
mean?
I really hope you all snap out of it pretty soon. Because believe it or
No.
not, I actually have too much to live for to die in some bullshit civil war because you people can't bring yourself to stop supporting this awful piece of shit. So when I first wrote the script for this video, I will admit it had a lot more swearing and a lot more name calling in it. But one of my friends told me about
have kept it
something
in.
Hank Green said, and that made me reconsider and ended up rewriting it. It would take a
I agree. I agree with Leaflit here. You know, I'm sorry, Jackson. I'm sorry for ragging on you. I don't know if maybe it's just because I watch these people too much and I'm doing liberal infighting, but like, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Keep making content. And fuck these people. You know, stand by your principles. Call them what they are. Call them names.
lot to convince me.
You know, a lot to convince me that the problem with America is that we're not angry enough. The problem with America is that we're not angry enough. The problem now, convince me that the problem with America is like, as in like the problem right now, that we're not angry enough. Because I think that could be true, actually. Because if you allow, like,
Yeah,
right,
no
if
shit.
you allow, let's use free reign for an example. All right, so if you had a case where you had these demons, right, and again, I'm using this as a kind of hyperbole, okay, this is a hyperbolic illustration, where if you had a case where you had these demons and they like wanted to eat you all the time, they wanted to take shit from you and just like fuck you up all the time.
How is
like,
that
the whole thing, and you
hyperbolic?
just keep letting it happen because you're just like, oh, you know, it's okay, and then it happens again, oh, it's okay, it happens again, oh, it's okay. You allow yourself to fall into suicidal empathy, in which, because you are so unwilling to get mad, you are unwilling to actually take action that would be negative against the people that actually hate you. So in that case, you would have a problem by not being angry enough, correct?
But the problem with America is that we're not angry enough. And the truth is, pretty soon after posting the video that started all this, I did regret how it turned out. It was sloppy, it wasn't very entertaining, and if there was a case to be made, I did not present it well. I mostly just used this Twitter situation as an excuse to vent my anger and frustration about current events and politics. I honestly thought no one would really see it. My channel is super dead. I basically just use it as a creative outlet now. I'm not even monetizing these videos. Look, I do think these people are awful, not wrong, and are supporting incredibly disgusting behavior from this administration, but it's not really productive or fair for me to make them the targets of all of my frustration, and it's not fair for me to direct all of my anger and frustration at Leaflit in this video just because she ended up responding to me.
Why
You're welcome for
the
content, by the way.
channel died.
2 1-hour-long
You're
videos
welcome for the
so far,
content
with
too.
a third on the way. Again, awful politics, probably an awful person, but still a person.
This dog. I mean, that's how it is, right? That's how it goes. It's like you make a video, I respond to it, I farm you, you farm me, which is the farming. We're all playing Farmville here. Wait, does anyone even know what Farmville is?
Who the fuck is Lee?
SMH. Thank you, Sapphire. Thank you for the bits. Thank you. Farmville. Yeah, Farmville. Yeah. We're all farming, right? Like I farm Asmund. Asmund sometimes farms me, but it's mostly me farming Asmund. It's mostly a one-sided farm there. But you know, I farm Rev. I farm everybody, right? And that's how it is. It's like what Asmund says. Sometimes you're the farmer, and sometimes you're the crop, right? I have no problem with him farming me, to be honest. I should ask Jackson if he wants to debate. What do you think,
Yeah,
Jack?
no shit.
I love debating though. I love debating. Why you do this to me? You guys take away what I love. Get ready for the gaslighting? I don't know, man. I don't know. Debate someone useful? Well, I mean, I think everyone's useful to debate, right?
I
Like,
agree.
anyone
Debate me.
you disagree with
Leaflit.
is useful to debate because
Let's
then you
do
can find
it.
out what they believe, and then you could try to prove the superiority of your worldview. All debating is PvP. It is every debate is an ideological battle to the death because either my worldview is correct or yours is, and I can show everyone that you suck or that I suck. We'll see.
Yeah, I completely disagree with your view on debate. Debate is a spectacle. It is content. It is entertainment. The winner of a debate isn't really who's right, okay? And I don't just say this because, like, I lose debates or whatever. On the contrary, I think I'm pretty proficient in debating, and I think that I'd be winning in debating. It's just that that's not what makes me right. Right, because winning in a debate obviously doesn't mean that, like, your fucking worldview or your perspective is correct, okay? It just means that you did a better job at presenting your side of the argument. Anyway, I am going to pause the stream for a few minutes, and when we get back, I'm going to play a